Hey, what's up, YouTube? I'm here back again, Gabi from Team Death Note. This is the updated deck of the Chaos Breaker Dragon, the undefeated one. Yes, I have switched around a couple of more cards, since I've been seeing what can actually help this deck out more and more. So, okay, now, starting off, we will go into the starter. It's going to be the regular starter, Dustel Unicorn. You always want to run him. Because, Soul Charge, Carnival Last One, lock someone if your opponent already has a lock card. Since he's Star Raider, helps out for Chaos Breaker Dragon, plays. Now, the main boss of the deck will never change. My avatar, Chaos Breaker Dragon. 4 of him, hands down, he's still good. Like I said in the other video, even though if you go first, and going first means no striding, your opponent wants to grey lock himself or whatever, doesn't matter. You have Chaos Breaker out there, you have a Limit Break Enabler, you're good to go because you get to lock up your opponent's rear guards, then you get to retire them for you to draw. So yes, he's a big plus. And Link Joker decks, I still really like him. And the other grade 3, which I'm not planning of changing, is 3 Lady Gun of the Neutron Star. Now, I run 7 grade 3s in this deck now. I had to make room for another grade 2 since I wanted to build up more pressure. Like I said, this card is still very good. It's a free lock. If you're at Generation Break 1, you call her out to Vanguard or Rearguard Circle. I lock one of mine, and you get to lock one of your opponent's rear guards as well. It's a very good card. That's what we want. We want to lock up your opponent's rear guards for free of charge. Now, going to the grade 2s, this card is very important. It's Technetium. Now, Technetium, Star Raider, Chaos Breaker, Dragon decks. Everybody should be running 4 of him because he's your unflipper, he's your soul charger, he's your heavy hitter. The only thing you have to do is just discard 1 Star Raider from hand. He gains plus 5,000 attack if his attack hits, unflip, and soul charge. That's very good. This is what Chaos Breaker was actually missing, which is a unflipper and a soul charger. Now on top of that, they add even numbers to him, which makes him even better. So if you have a 7k behind him, you attack with him, you ditch a Star Raider, he gains 5,000. That's a 21k column with no triggers. This card is very good. And the thing that I like about him was that they did not make him Generation Break effect. So early game as rear guards, you have 2 of him out there swinging for high numbers. Your opponents can't block you hitting him, and you get to soul charge and unflip. That's just awesome. Now, the card that every deck should be running is 4 Photons. If you have a Star Raider deck, you do not have Photons. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't know how you're locking because, this is the very easiest way to lock. You just call him out to the field. If your opponent has a lock card, lock again for free. Just call and lock. So, yeah. Now, we're running 2 Colony Makers. Colony Makers very neat in this deck. And I've seen it. Sometimes you don't have the limit break out. You don't have the limit break enabler out there. You have Chaos Breaker, Counter Blast 1, discard a card from hand, lock one of your opponent's units. You call her out, Counter Blast 1, search the deck for a Star Raider grade 1 or less. You call out the limit break enablers, blah damn. That fixes the whole problem about not having limit break. This card is very needed. Colony Maker. Run that. 2 of her. Now I switched out Dustblade. His name is Dustblade. Yeah, Dustblade for 2 Neobiums. Neobium, we all know what he does. Card is very good. You call him out there. You lock up a few of your opponent's rear guards. He gains attack. Very good. Very good card. So it's 12 grade 2s in the deck now on. Now, going to the grade 1s. I switched a couple of them up. Well, not a couple, but you're going to see. I am still running 4 of the regular Star Raider Perfect Guards. First of all, I still run 4 because I just like the way he looks. Very good card. I think there's like the most craziest looking Perfect Guard that Vanguard has out there. That's just my opinion. I remember when this card was $20 to $25 a piece. Yeah. So, okay. The reason why I'm running this, because, there's decks out there like ZX. Decks that can stand back up if they hit Vanguard or Rearguard, and you do not want that. If your opponent comes at you with the X/DN trying to attack your rear guards, you just perfect guard them. Of course, you're still going to lose 2 units on the field because he's basically going to retire. Kind of a last 1 person over last retire. but you stopped him from standing back up. So that means less drive checks, less cards in his hands. And that's what we want to do. We want to stop your opponent. This is all about controlling. This is basically a control deck. They control your field, lock them up. Then we attack you for high numbers to make you drop cards from hand. Then when your rear guards get unlocked, we retire them. So that means your is a big minus on the field, big minus on your hand. So yes, this is what we want. And it's not that I don't have the flippers, because I do have the flippers, guys. The thing is that I just don't run them because, first of all, I do not see myself running out of Counterblast in this deck. I've never saw it yet. And, you know, it's just that big thing about DX. I'm not saying that DX is the most ultimate deck out there. No, but it is annoying. Now, I cannot stress this enough. I am running 4 limit break enablers. A lot of people say, why am I running 4? You know, 3 is enough or 2 is enough, yada, yada, yada. I run 4 because sometimes you see yourself riding this card, and that's already an automatic minus of him. That means if you running 3, now you're down to 2 in the deck. Then, let's say you do get to summon him or whatever. Your opponent has Narukamis, Kagero, stuff that can obliterate your field. So they retire him. That's another -1. Now you're left with 1 in the deck. I run 4 to be secured. If I have 2 out there boosting, well, who cares? He's a 7K booster. He's a very good, decent card. And he activates my limit break. This is why I cannot stress this enough, guys. Run 4 limit break enablers in your deck. Now, grade 1 that I added was Palladium. I know I said Palladium was kind of a hassle, but I rethought it. You know, let's say I don't have the Soul Blast to retire my opponent's units. Counterblast 1, he goes into a soul. Any card that's unlocking gets relocked. Yes, so, you know, I still get to relock your opponent's rear guards, and you get to soul charge on top of that. So, I only run 2 for now. Don't know if that's going to change, but 2 is excellent for right now. Now, I am still running 4 Destiny Dealers. Why Destiny Dealers? Because you do not want to see yourself dumping out Chaos Break from hand to stride. I'll rather ride Chaos Break on top of Chaos Break and dump this to stride just to give myself the extra soul. Yes, I cannot stress this enough. Do not dump out your Chaos Breakers from hand to stride unless that's the only thing you got to stride and it's going to secure you the game or an extra turn so you get more cards in hand to block with. Yeah, go ahead, do it. But, you know, if you just dumping it to dump it, don't do it. Just ride Chaos Break on top of Chaos Breaker, dump one of this, stride, and you're good to go. Now, going to the triggers, we actually stay the same. It's the basic trigger lineup. I think everybody should know it by now. We are running not 4, but 8 of the yellow triggers. Yes, 8 criticals. The yellow ones is the best way to go. We are running 4 draw triggers. I was seriously thinking about putting in 4 stands, but I do not know. I'm going to have to test it out. If I do test it out and it comes out good, I'll let you guys know about it. But right now, 8 crits, 4 draws, and 4 heals. And I cannot stress this out enough. Make sure all your triggers are Star Raider. You're going to need them. They might get soul charged. They might get dumped out from hand to do cards effect. They might, you know, be counterblasted. You just never know. Now, this deck, it only has 7 cards that are not Star Raider. 7 non-Star Raider cards. And I'm going to tell you the truth. The deck actually runs very good. It doesn't matter what people say. No, because you need... No. Listen, 7 cards, non-Star Raider is not going to hurt the deck the way lots of people think. So, yes. Moving on to the strides, I've kind of changed it around. Do not be expecting Amnesty Messiah, because I've noticed that this deck does not need Amnesty Messiahs. You do not want to unlock your opponent's rear guards, because you're basically revolving this deck around Chaos Breaker Dragon. Do not unlock your opponent's rear guards before their time is done for them to be retired and for you to draw. you would like to have your opponent's rear guards to be locked. So, of course, you gain the extra crit, you gain extra power, pull more pressure, but it doesn't do anything if your opponent just dumps out a perfect guard. It'll be the same thing as any other card that you just finished striding, and it's like, oh, okay, I just finished swinging for 56,000 or 60,000 and 2 crits, and they perfect guard you. Then you just be there feeling stupid, and you just finish unlocking your opponent's rear guard, so when it's his turn, he can go a full force of attack out on you. So, you know, don't do that. Not in the Chaos Breaker deck. You could do it with the Messiahs, yes, of course, but with the Chaos Breaker build, no. So I am still going with 4 Big Crunch Dragon. Very good. I cannot stress this enough. This is like the star of the deck right here. Him and Chaos Breakers, the stars of the deck. You could do so many different plays with this card. It's not even funny. You can stride, lock up your opponent's column. Your opponent goes, he throws out more rear guards, stride into him again, lock his other column. Then when this column gets unlocked, you retire them with Chaos Breaker, you draw. Then when this column gets unlocked, you retire them with Chaos Breaker, and you draw. And you keep on leaving your opponent with like little spaces. So when he calls out, you can still lock with Photon, lock with Chaos Breaker, lock with Lady Gunner, lock with the starter, lock with so many different things, and they're funny. So you're basically controlling how your opponent plays. You control his plays, you control his field, you control his hand. This is what I like about Chaos Breaker and Link Joker. They basically let you set up the way you want to play against your opponent. Now, we're running 1 Judgment Messiah. 1. I see this card as a problem in this deck. I'm not going to lie to you on that one. Lots of times I stride into him first. Since I don't have a unit locked, you know, your opponent basically pretty much of the time, 90% of the time, they're going to take the first hit when you first stride. So then it's an obligator effect. It says when this card hits, I lock one of my opponent's back row and I unlock a card. It does not specify if I unlock one of mine or one of his. So if you do not have a lock card, you just basically lock them on your opponents and unlocking them at the same time. So it's like the card didn't do anything. You just stroll to attack. That's why I'm only running 1 of him. Now, I run 1 Maximum Seal Dragon. Why? I like to have lots of options in this deck. If I see you have lots of lock cards, 3 cards in hand, I stride this, the field is basically locked, he'll gain 20, 30, or 35, whatever the amount is, and swing for high numbers. Now, here's why I'm also running Atmos. If I don't see that your field has lock cards, go into Atmos, Counter Blast 1, a good plus 10,000, and it's good, you know? Push for the win, and we also have 1 Blizzard. If I did not get to stride as often as I didn't want to in this game, I would not go into Blizzard. Now, I see the game is down. We have no more perfect guards, no more heal triggers left or whatever. I've used all my strides. I go into Blizzard. I flip over this dude because mainly I will not be striding into him first. I'll just depending how the situation is, I'll stride into him or I'll just stride into Maximum Seal. That's what I'll do. Yeah. Because, after you do his effect and your opponent's hand is very low, you know, there's a great possibility that you're going to win the game. So, yeah, he end games. Push for the win, end games as well. And thank you guys for enjoying. Hope you like and subscribe to my channel. And yes, and I have a prediction to make, and it's that you will beg to be locked by Chaos Breaker Dragon. This is Gabby from Team Death Note, signing out. Peace out.